A survey of 3 economists in South Africa conducted by Citywire, an financial information organization, shows a consensus of skepticism on the workability of the mini budget announced on Wednesday by the country's finance minister, Enoch Godongwana. Let's get some insights and perspectives into the budget now from investment and mining sector as we turn to Peter Major, the director in charge of mining at Mergence Corporate Solutions in South Africa. Thank you so much, Peter. It's good to see you tonight, sir. We appreciate it. Let me just go down very quickly. What's your opinion, broadly speaking, about the mini budget released on Wednesday?
Look, it's a pretty safe budget. You and I we could have done the same, Boson. The best part about it is that they made about 110, 120 billion more than they expected, say, 6 to 9 months ago. And that's because of the huge amount of money they made in mining from these incredibly high prices, metal prices. So the budget had plenty of money for everybody, surprisingly. And I give our finance minister credit. He's taking 2/3 of that extra money that he didn't plan on getting to reduce the country's debt. And the foreigners like that, the investors like that. Obviously, the locals don't. But that's very prudent, and I give him credit.
Okay, so let's break it down to the good, the bad, and the ugly. How do you respond? Give me the part that is good, give me the ugly, and give me if there's anything good in it, or the bad one.
Yeah, there's more good in it than bad. He's increasing the money on infrastructure, which has been really, really too low too long. And he's bailing out the SOEs that have to be bailed out, or they will go bust, and then we'll really have trouble. The bad part of that is it doesn't change the way these SOEs are managed. Eskom, Transnet, Nel, the land bank, it's not really Treasury's fault. It's the president and parliament's fault how bad these are run. So the poor finance minister, he battles with cadre deployment. And people call it an aspirational budget because there's a more hope in it than reality. He's hoping the wage increase for public servants can be limited to 3%. And we know they're not going to go for less than 6 or 7.
But again, what has been the general opinion in the past 48 hours about the budget? What's being said within the business and economic circuit about this mini budget? Does it give any light as to how the Ramaphosa's administration will be able to walk out of debt and the problem of jobs in South Africa and get the GDP back up and running and bring in those much needed investments?
Boson, that is the problem this country has. Is they usually have a good finance minister. They have huge cash flow coming in. So the finance ministry handles that. And SARS, the tax administration, handles that money coming in. But who spends all that money? The politicians, the special interest groups in the ANC. And so that's why we have huge debt in our parastatals year after year. We have worsening productivity in most of our government-run businesses. And on the whole, they get inflation plus increases. So we know the political world that controls where this money goes does not deal in reality. They don't deal in proper economics. We've had great times here the last 2 years with high commodity prices. And we're still running huge deficits every year. 5-6%. And that's with bumper metal prices. So if these metal prices come up, we're going to really have trouble. And the politicians don't address that. They're not using their money effectively.
Okay, so if we speak specifically to your sector, which is mining resources, what is in this mining budget for you? You're an investment analyst. You spend most of your life in the mining industry, raising money, raising capital for those in the mining sector, not just in South Africa, but the United States and elsewhere. So what is there anything on the money for you in what you heard and what was presented on Wednesday to the Parliament?
That is a great question, Boson. I like it. Mining bailed out this country the last 2 years. There's never anything in the budget for mining. They say you can take care of yourself. And yet, if you look at the political sphere, the policies and legislation are more anti-mining than any other industry in the country. So the mind boggles how much more mining could contribute here if they could get rid of the negative legislation on mining. And if they could fix their infrastructure, their Transnet, Eskom, the ports, the roads. So nothing in this budget is pointing to helping mining really at all. Except bailing out Eskom to the tune of 200 billion rand. But is that fixing Eskom?
Interesting. So any idea what the way forward should be for the government in Pretoria? We're coming to the end of 2022. And from the global headwinds that we're seeing in terms of interest rates hike, inflation jump, the global debt market and all of that, there are a lot of there's a whole lot of headwinds right there. Is there any silver lining? Give that to me in 1 minute. Peter.
I don't see a silver lining, son. Our finance minister is not doing a bad job. He spent the windfall pretty prudently. It's the governing body with their horrible legislation that's anti-business, anti-job growth, anti-foreign investment, and anti-mining. That's what's got to change. It's not the budget. It's not the treasury. It's not the receiver revenue. They're doing the right thing. They're doing a good job. It's government, policy, and legislation.
Okay, so it's all about legislation. Bring it all down to legislation. Okay, we'll have the we'll check in with you in the days and weeks ahead. Thank you so much for your time this evening. This is a Friday evening. We appreciate that in the way you are in South Africa. Thank you so much, Peter Major, Director of Mining at Magis Corporate Solutions. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time as always.